Hello everyone. I'm Kata Nagygyörgy, a research psychologist and also a community manager from Pronovix. I present you in the Drupal community. As you can see, I'm a psychologist, so yeah, I'm not a coder, and I'm more working in the field of user experience and product development and also community management. So today I'd like to share with you our research results in the field of cognitive load related to product development. So on the road of product development, when we started developing WalkHub, based on the initial idea of step-by-step GPS-like online tutorial, we had to think about features, workflow, and all the bits and pieces that can make a product awesome and what make them awesome or awful. So during this process, cognitive load and user experience started popping up in conversations, and we generally agreed that they were important, so we realized we need to know more about this topic. But at first, I'd like to talk a bit about the theoretical background of cognitive load, because to understand more the other part of the presentation. So what is cognitive load? By definition, cognitive load is the load related to the executive control of working memory. During complex learning activities, the amount of information and interaction that must be processed simultaneously could overload the infinite amount of working memory. As you can imagine, cognitive load is ever present on the internet. As user is working on a spreadsheet, while he gets distracted with a message on the chat, he has to schedule a meeting during that, and he has to estimate a time, or he has other tasks to do beside this. So it's pretty important to focus on this. When we're speaking about cognitive load, we have to know that there are 3 different types of it. The first one is extraneous cognitive load. This is how materials presented. You can reduce this kind of cognitive load simply being mindful of it. For example, using one type of visualizations, using diagrams only instead of using diagrams and text beside to it, or on the other way, to use worked out examples for specific problems. So, for example, use specific examples for every specific steps to make it understandable how it works. The second is intrinsic cognitive load, which loaded based on the complexity of the material. In the beginning, researchers thought that we can't reduce this kind of cognitive load, but now we know that we can reduce it by splitting the task and using informal previous knowledge. And the third one is Grimm's cognitive load. This is how we learn. This is building new schemas. This is how we automate new schemas. This type was so schemas are mental structures, how we organize the knowledge, actually. When you have an automated schema, you can use it when you need it. If we use less extraneous and less intrinsic cognitive load, we have more space for this kind of cognitive load, so we can learn more efficiently. So you can see, if we keep cognitive load in mind, it could help to strengthen the long-term memory storage. We will also have more space in the working memory, and it helps to ease learn. So it's pretty important to focus on this. And the other part. So in our product, we are trying to reform the user guides. How many of you are using user guides? Or how many of you like the structure of the user guides? How easy to use them? Everything, every kind of user guides. You can think about how a product works. You can think about how a web page looks like, and how not just looks like, how it works, and actually you can think about video guides, every kind of user guides what we can imagine. Yeah, we can think about also YouTube. So I think in that case, more of you using user guides than if we think about this kind of user guides. But we still think that, as far as we see it, user guides and video tutorials usually are too complex. So to offer users to help their needs. So the users have to switch back and forth between windows with the documentation usually, and the windows in which they have the software open, so they can either try to interpret and remember several steps at the time or switch back and forth endlessly. So it's the kind of thing when you try to remember steps. Okay, I try to find it on the page or in the product, but it's not working efficiently. So our goal was to solve this kind of problem. But we wanted to do it consciously. So as we know that the internet offers information at a great speed, and users react by consuming all the information they can in a hurry. They become impatient, they need instant feedback, their attention span decrease, and this doesn't stop when they stand up from their computers. So it means that if the cognitive overload has drained our resources, it will impact our offline life as well. So if we are speaking about making a good product, we do not want to create a good product just because we wanted to want from the users to use it easier. We can also help them to impact their offline life as well with this. So maybe most of you know this book. This is a classic book, Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug, where he explores that users don't really think when using online interfaces. They go with the first available solution that solves their problem. So that means that it's really important to design user interface and UX so that users can accomplish their goals. Because users are trying to figure out how things work, they simply want to accomplish a task. If it works, they will use it. If it doesn't work, they won't. So for now, we collected the 10 most important tips and tricks what we learned through books, and we try to validate them through researches and testing. So the first one: always use consistent naming, labeling, icons, and visual presentation to reduce reduce any confusion. If your application has multiple tasks or screens that share similarities, be consistent in designing the visual appearance and workflow of these tasks and screens, so that once the user has learned how to use one, the same pattern can be applied to the other. So, yeah, just what the first sentence says: be consistent. That helps a lot to the user, that if he or she see the same icon, he or she will know that that icon will do the same kind of thing every time. Try to avoid redundancy, so that the same information doesn't need to be read and proceed repeatedly. put related things close together and avoid forcing a user to switch between different tabs or windows or scroll back and forth to find or enter information. Avoid distraction. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. We all know that pop-up dialogues or moving content or unnecessary pictures are really, really bad, and we just hating them. So that breaks the user's concentration flow. Identify and eliminate any unnecessary steps. Yeah, so validate if that step is necessary in your product or not, if you get more information with it, or is it worth to get that information to include that step. You might allow expert users to hide instructions and turn off warning messages. So yeah, after a while, they will learn your product, and yeah, it's definitely worth to give more space to the expert users. Automate as much manual work as it reasonably possible. In some cases, though, you may want to allow experts to have option of doing things manually if they need an extra level of control or precision. So where there is a list of steps to be followed, always make it clear how to do the next step. Yeah, that was one of the most important for us, definitely because we wanted to create a really great user guide. So because every step has to contain just one task, and if you know that if we say a sentence and we include too much important things in it, we definitely hasn't got enough load to remember all of it, or not all of us. Yeah, some of us can do that. So when possible, guide users through tasks with wizard-style interfaces rather than force users to memorize a complex procedure. Yeah, that's also important, that if it's not necessary, we do not have to force our users to learn complex procedure. Use visual cues and clues to avoid the need for memorization and recall. For example, I'm aware of one system that requires users to make note of a long customer number. Close the window and then go to another window and re-enter customer number, and etc. So this is absolutely when the system could remember. So it's pretty easy to do a system which could remember this kind of things. So we do not have to include this. Reduce delays and latency as much as possible. Give feedback quickly. Yeah, feedback is really important. If, for example, if you are recording something, you have to give a feedback to your user that, okay, it worked properly, and just go forward to the next step. So if an operation will take a long time, use a progress bar or other indicator to show that the system is busy, and give a feedback when it's possible. Where it's possible, also provide templates or work examples so that users can modify an existing document or follow a pattern. So if it's possible, just fill out with every field with an example. So if we wanted to put everything together, this is how an online help system should work. This should be task-oriented, should not include any more information that is absolutely necessary, complete the task at hand, no jargon, no background information, no references to other help topics, just one information one time. So thank you really much, and let's go with the questions if you have any.
I have a question.
Yes, sure.
What do you think is like the biggest
from this list?
Yeah, yeah. Or in general, I don't know.
Because it's also, so if we think about this list, it's absolutely about, so you're thinking about cognitive load. Yeah, with this list. I think we usually provide more information in one sentence than we wanted to, and it's pretty hard to separate the tasks. So usually we think that we separated them, but we include more information in one sentence than we have to. So in user manuals, maybe that's the biggest problem, that when you just open up a user guide, you get too much information, so you go back and forth, and you are not sure that you finished all the tasks you get in one sentence. Maybe that.
Do you have any recommendations which are some good help applications? I don't know, some examples which are really good to see or would recommend to check?
In that case, I have to offer ours. I think that, yeah, you know, it's not a bit mean, but I think we wanted to collect all the good things. So WalkHub is a user manual or user guide, which is working like pop-ups on a page. You can create it everywhere on the internet. You don't have to use any module, any client, anything. You just go to walkup.net, you get user there, and you go to your website and record the steps you want to record. So for example, if you wanted to show your users on your website how to subscribe to your email list, you just create a few steps with this manual, and you can fill it out that please click here, go here, and fill it out this with your email address, with your blah, 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 and click on the finish, and you're just ready. The thing is, when you created this and you send it out, your users could, when they play it, they already filled it out. So they don't have to go back and forth or do anything else. They can do it immediately. So that will means that in that case, they already finished the task when they played the manual or the user guide, or that's it. I'm not sure if it was an answer to your question.
Yeah. So for every project, you actually create these manuals?
You can reuse it, actually. For example, if you have a Drupal site, and you have an admin space. Actually, we already finished the documentation of Drupal 7 and core, and also we created a few walkthroughs Drupal 8 core. So the only thing you have to do is you change the domain in the first link, and you can play it on your site. So it's already created. You just change the domain, and you can play it on your site. And you don't have to put any modules on your site or a client or anything else. Any more questions? WalkHub.net. WalkHub.net. This one. Yeah, it's absolutely free. It's open source, so you just simply go to this site. Now we are not open yet, so you have to subscribe to our mailing list, and we give you an access in a day to our system. So you just go there after that, and the only thing you have to do create manuals after that.
Can it be used for registered users? You need username and password for some.
Yeah, we just solved this problem. It was a pretty great question, actually, because we had this kind of problem for a while, and now we solved it. In that case, usually you have to download browser extension still, because our proxy is still not working with every site if you log in your site. So sometimes it blocked it, but with that it works properly. We use prerequisites for walkthroughs, so if you have to log in for that site, you just put a prerequisite before it, they fill it out. We do not record any usernames or passwords, and you can log in with that.
So no browser plugin or extension. It's not basically.
It's a plugin, yeah.
Yeah, but so actually you need to install this plugin.
Not every time. So all the walkthroughs are working through a proxy in an iframe, but I can show it actually how it works to make it easier to understand. Okay. Oh, come on. I think I have to switch the Oh, it's pretty easy, but how can I switch my... Azt csináltam, de azt mutatja, hogy ez 6-os, nézd csak. Aha, yeah, okay. Okay, köszi. Haha, perfect. So this is WalkHub.net, and so this is a walkthrough widget, and if I click on this, this is how you can start it. Here you can change the domain, so if you want to play the same walkthrough in a different domain, you can see that now we are using via proxy. We can start this walkthrough here. And so this walkthrough is working on the White House page, and simple thing is that you can, if you are the admin of that walkthrough, you can edit it immediately. Oop. And the simple thing that this is a tour. This walkthrough is more like a tour than a walkthrough. And you just simply click on next, and you can go through. So as you can see, it's working in an iframe. So if we just go through quickly, you can see that you can share it also. So if you want to create a walkthrough for your site, you can share it with your friends everywhere. And here is a walkthrough widget where we create screenshots for every step, so you can use it in your documentation also. and you can use it like this also, and you can surely embed it into your documentation like this. So you can see it works via proxy, but if in some cases the proxy is not works because of allowances issues or something like that, you just simply download our browser extension, and with one click you just download it. You can see it here. Your ticket, and you simply not use the proxy. So that's how it works in the other way. Any other question? So I think, thank you.